What if the only thing keeping you broke is the way you think? Epictetus was born a slave with nothing to his name, but he became one of the most powerful minds in history. How did he do it? In this video, you'll learn how to escape mental slavery, adopt the mindset of a master, and apply the exact Stoic principles that built unshakable wealth from within. The formula is simple, but most will ignore it. Will you? Epictetus was born into bondage, shackled not only by physical chains, but by a world that told him he would never rise. But while most accept the script they're handed, Epictetus rewrote his. Born around 50 AD in Hierapolis, Phrygia, he was taken to Rome as a slave. He belonged to a wealthy man, Epictetus, who served in the court of Emperor Nero. Life could not have been more imbalanced. A man born into power, owning a man born into limitation. But here's where the story shifts. Even though Epictetus had no control over his external circumstances, he made one decision that changed everything. He decided to rule his inner world. He studied philosophy while still in slavery, attending the lectures of Musonius Rufus, one of the most respected Stoic teachers of the time. Even when his leg was crippled, some say broken by his master, he didn't complain. He simply said, "If you want to break my leg, go ahead. But even if you break it, that won't hurt me, as the body could be broken, the spirit could not." And that's the first truth in the Epictetus Formula for wealth. What is within your control is where your power lies. Everything else? Noise. External events, people's opinions, how much money is in your account, none of these are yours. Your thoughts, your responses, your discipline, your vision, that's your kingdom. He later said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgments about them." Think about that. Most people live in reaction. Something happens, they feel powerless. The stock drops, their boss disrespects them, they miss a shot, and suddenly they fall into despair. But Stoicism teaches that power is not in the event. It's in the response. Now, how does this apply to wealth? Most people chase money with fear in their heart. They seek success from a state of lack. That's not wealth, that's survival. True wealth is built on sovereignty, on the unshakable foundation of knowing who you are and what cannot be taken from you. Epictetus was a slave, but he walked freer than the men who owned gold and land. Why? Because his mind was uncluttered, his desires purified, his will sharpened like a blade. He didn't ask the world to give him value. He created it from within. You can't build an empire while begging for permission. You can't attract wealth while radiating lack. You can't command abundance while living like a servant to your fears. This is the core of the Epictetus Formula for wealth. Born into slavery, Epictetus didn't wait for freedom to begin thinking like a philosopher. He didn't wait for riches to begin feeling powerful. He began with the only wealth that could never be taken from him, his mind. He realized that the moment you stop outsourcing your strength, you become unstoppable. And that is the essence of true wealth, sovereignty. Sovereignty is the ability to stand rooted in yourself, to make decisions from alignment, not anxiety, to respond with principle, not panic. Sovereignty is when your actions come from your highest self, not from hunger, fear, or approval seeking. And it's from this place that real, sustainable, unshakable wealth is built. Most people try to get rich from a place of lack. They chase money because they're afraid. They chase success because they feel small. They chase abundance because they feel empty. But anything built on fear becomes fragile. What's built from lack will always crave more. Even when it arrives, it will never be enough. Epictetus knew that power could not be inherited, bought, or given. It must be claimed. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That's the first pillar of wealth, mastery of the self. If you can't govern your emotions, you'll trade peace for validation. If you can't govern your impulses, you'll trade long-term wealth for short-term pleasure. If you can't govern your focus, you'll stay stuck chasing distractions that drain you. You don't get wealthy by chasing what's shiny. You get wealthy by staying sharp. So what does sovereignty look like in your daily life? It means waking up and choosing your state before the world chooses it for you. It means setting your values in stone and not trading them for comfort. It means having desires, but not being ruled by them. Seneca once wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." And here lies the paradox. The less you need, the more you attract. The more whole you feel internally, the more wealth flows to you externally. Why? Because energy responds to energy. The universe reflects your internal state. If you act from desperation, you'll manifest delay. If you act from confidence, you'll magnetize opportunities. This isn't mysticism, this is metaphysical law. Neville Goddard taught, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not beg, not want, not try. Assume." This is where Epictetus and metaphysics intersect. They both demand one thing: control your inner world. You don't need evidence to believe. You believe to create evidence. When you assume wealth as your nature, not your goal, you move differently. You're not grasping, you're guiding. You're not chasing, you're channeling. You're not proving, you're positioning. This is what separates the sovereign from the seeker. The sovereign lives from the outcome. The seeker waits for it to arrive. And you can see it in the way people speak. The one in lack says, "I hope I can." The one in sovereignty says, "I've already chosen." The one in lack waits for motivation. The one in sovereignty creates momentum. The one in lack worships the goal. The one in sovereignty becomes the goal. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." That's it. Identity first, action second. Wealth begins when you choose who you are before you see it in your bank account. Wealth is not something you chase. It's something you align with, not from a place of ego, but from a deep understanding of who you are and what you're here to do. You were not born to scrape by. You were not created to live small, tired, sick, or broke. You were born to live fully. Wealth is not just about money. It's about power, peace, health, clarity, and freedom. It's not a reward. It's your birthright. But only when you are willing to claim it from the right place. There's a difference between chasing wealth for validation and attracting wealth from identity. One is rooted in ego. The other is rooted in truth. The ego says, "I need this to feel worthy." The higher self says, "I am worthy." And wealth is simply one expression of that. When you try to get rich to impress others, you lose yourself. When you seek success to escape shame, you build a life that still feels empty. But when you rise from inner fullness, you draw in everything that reflects your wholeness. Wealth is energy. It responds to how you treat yourself. If you abuse your body, ignore your mind, and neglect your spirit, you block the channels through which wealth flows. Wealth in money comes easier when you carry wealth in health. Wellness is the foundation. Clarity is the compass. Without it, you may earn, but you will not keep. You may attract, but you will not sustain. Your nervous system must feel safe with success, or it will sabotage it the moment it arrives. This is why you must separate your desire for wealth from your ego's hunger for status. You don't need to be seen. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to win the game they invented. You need to build your own table. You need to live in a way that honors your truth. When you do that, wealth comes to you, not as a trophy, but as a mirror. A reflection of the work you've done, the clarity you've cultivated, the integrity you've kept. You're not just here to have money, you're here to have energy. You're here to move through the world with vitality, strength, and presence. A rich bank account means nothing if you're tired, depressed, or mentally enslaved. That is not wealth. That is imbalance. True wealth is harmony. Mind, body, spirit, finances, focus, freedom. Not one or the other, all of it. integrated, whole. To attract this kind of wealth, you start by shifting your internal state. You no longer see wealth as outside of you. You see it as something you allow, something you embody, something you become. You walk with it. You speak from it. You make decisions like it's already yours. Not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence, with presence, with calm. You stop begging. You stop chasing. You begin receiving. Receiving doesn't mean waiting. It means creating from alignment, taking action from a grounded place, being decisive because your vision is clear. You don't ask for permission to rise. You declare it. You step into it. Because when your intention is clean and your energy is focused, the results will show up. Not instantly, not magically, but inevitably. You start to clean up your habits. You take care of your health, not because you hate your body, but because you love your purpose. You train your mind to think in solutions, not problems. You organize your environment so that your space reflects your clarity. You move with structure, rhythm, and intention. That is how wealth recognizes you. That is how you signal to the universe that you are ready to hold more. Ego will always want more, faster, louder. The soul wants better, stronger, quieter. Your job is to listen to the part of you that doesn't panic. The part that knows that wealth isn't about stacking more, it's about becoming more. It's about building a life that feels good from the inside out. One where you don't trade your peace for a paycheck. One where you don't destroy your health to meet a deadline. One where you wake up and feel aligned, not just admired. The shift happens when you realize that your value isn't based on what you earn, but on who you are becoming. The more you evolve, the more wealth you attract. You take care of your body because it's the vessel through which your power moves. You protect your peace because stress blocks creativity. You feed your mind with strength because weakness is expensive. You eliminate noise because focus builds empires. Wealth comes to those who prepare to hold it. And holding wealth is a responsibility, not a game. You don't need to be perfect, but you must be honest. You must be willing to ask, am I living in a way that honors the version of me I'm trying to become? Or am I still operating from fear, insecurity, and performance? If the answer is the latter, don't punish yourself. Upgrade yourself. Shift your choices. Tighten your boundaries. Clean your energy. This kind of internal work may not feel glamorous, but it builds the foundation for everything. The one who masters themselves can master money, relationships, health, and purpose. Because wealth doesn't change you, it amplifies you. If you're clear, wealth gives you more power. If you're lost, wealth gives you more distraction. So don't just seek money, seek mastery. Don't just seek gain, seek growth. The more whole you are, the less you need. And the less you need, the more you receive. This is the paradox. The one who can stand in a room with nothing and feel unshaken is already rich. The one who can smile in the middle of uncertainty is already free. Because that person is not waiting for life to bless them, they are the blessing. Their energy feeds the room. Their presence calms the chaos. Their vision pierces through the fog. Be that person. The one who doesn't just talk about wealth, but lives it, breathes it, carries it, in their words, in their silence, in their stillness. The one who doesn't need to flex because their energy speaks louder than any number in the bank. The one who trains like the mission matters, who rests like their peace is sacred, who moves like time is precious. That's the energy wealth responds to. Not desperation, not ego, but embodiment. So from this day forward, you attract wealth by becoming a match for it. You upgrade your standard. You take care of your temple. You honor your time. You focus your mind. You protect your energy. And you act in alignment with the future you already know is yours. You don't shrink. You don't stall. You don't sabotage. You show up fully, freely, fearlessly. You attract wealth not to feed your ego, but to fulfill your role. Because when you are wealthy in spirit, in health, in clarity, and in purpose, you change lives. You lift others. You build legacies. You bring order to chaos. You make your corner of the world stronger. And this is not something you beg for. This is not something you steal. This is not something you manipulate into existence. This is something you remember. You were born for this. You were built for this. The seed of it is already inside you. You just have to live like it. Live like your peace is non-negotiable. Live like your purpose is sacred. Live like your health is wealth. Live like your mind is your kingdom. Live like your legacy is already forming. And watch how wealth begins to orbit around you. Not as a prize, but as a reflection of the power you chose to become. You cannot escape lack by thinking like a beggar. You rise by mastering the way you direct your energy. This is practical energy alchemy rooted in self-discipline, self-awareness, and self-command. Lack is not about money. It's a condition of the mind. A person with nothing who feels empowered is already closer to wealth than someone with everything who still feels small. This is where Epictetus's wisdom becomes a weapon. He taught that the only thing that truly belongs to you is your ability to think, to choose, and to respond. In this, your energy can be trained, transformed, and transmuted into power. Energy alchemy is the art of turning your invisible state into visible results, turning doubt into action, turning fear into focus, turning chaos into calm. This is not theoretical. It's daily, deliberate, repeatable practice. If you train it, you change your reality. If you don't, you'll keep reliving the same circumstances under a different disguise. The first technique is called state anchoring. Every morning, before the world enters your consciousness, you enter your own kingdom. You ask yourself one question: what is my inner state, and who does it belong to? If your state belongs to yesterday's failure, to a comment someone made, to your bank account, you're giving your power away. Instead, claim your state. Choose what you embody: calm, certainty, boldness, precision. Say it, breathe it, anchor it into your nervous system. You're training your energy to listen to you, not the world. The second technique is energetic reversal. Every time a negative emotion arises, frustration, jealousy, fear, you don't suppress it and you don't feed it. You reverse it. You stop, name it, and redirect it. For example, if you feel envy, identify it. This is the energy of lack looking for validation. Then ask, how can I use this as fuel? You turn it into focus. You transmute it into intensity. The very thing that once drained you now becomes a tool. This is the alchemy of transformation. Every emotion is neutral until you assign meaning and direction. The third technique is identity embodiment. You cannot act poor and expect to attract wealth. You must act in alignment with the identity of someone who is already powerful. That doesn't mean pretending. It means removing everything that contradicts the future version of you. Your words, your tone, your posture, your pace. Do they match a sovereign man or someone stuck in survival? From the second you wake up, you are embodying something. Energy follows identity. Become the person, and the results will follow. The fourth technique is austerity training. Voluntary discomfort rewires your relationship to control. When you train yourself to go without, you stop fearing lack. You take cold showers. You fast. You discipline your urges. You say no when it's tempting to say yes. You practice delayed gratification until it becomes your nature. Why? Because someone who is not addicted to comfort becomes magnetic. Power does not reside in the person who needs. It resides in the one who can stand still in a storm and smile. This is not punishment. It's preparation. You're not shrinking, you're sharpening. The fifth technique is mental economy. Your thoughts are currency. Every time you spend energy worrying, doubting, comparing, you're going broke mentally. Train yourself to think in value. Create a 5-to-1 ratio. For every disempowering thought, respond with 5 that realign you. For every trigger, you give yourself 5 responses rooted in control, calm, and courage. Over time, your mental economy begins to thrive. Your thoughts become sharp, efficient, clear. You no longer leak energy, you store it, you invest it. The sixth technique is desire refinement. Not all desires serve you. Some are distractions dressed as ambition. When you train your desire, you concentrate your energy into your mission. Ask yourself daily, is this desire helping me build, or is it helping me avoid? True desire creates alignment. It doesn't scatter your focus, it sharpens it. You learn to say no to good things so you can say yes to great things. This refinement builds momentum, and momentum builds miracles. The seventh technique is emotional neutrality. The Stoic does not get pulled by every wave. He observes emotion, honors it, but does not serve it. When something doesn't go your way, you respond, not react. You practice being still when things are chaotic. You learn that patience is not passive. It's preparation. Neutrality is not about being numb. It's about being immune to emotional chaos. And when your emotions don't control you, your power compounds. The eighth technique is future imprinting. Before every major decision, before every important day, you imprint your energy with where you're going, not where you've been. You take 5 minutes, close your eyes, and feel the outcome already accomplished. Not with desperation, with certainty. You bring the emotions of completion into the present. Your body begins to believe it, your mind begins to obey it, and your energy starts aligning with it. This is how results begin to move towards you. You're not chasing anymore, you're commanding. The ninth technique is language calibration. Words carry energy. They either reinforce power or reinforce poverty. Listen to how you speak. Is it reactive, vague, or passive? Or is it deliberate, calm, and rooted in vision? Remove phrases like, I hope, I can't, I'm trying. Replace them with, I choose, I will, I am. Words build identity. Identity shapes energy. Energy manifests reality. Your vocabulary is a spell. Speak like the man you're becoming and your life will start to reflect it. The 10th technique is daily presence immersion. Lack lives in the future. Power lives in the now. You train your energy to stay here, grounded, rooted in this breath, this task, this moment. When you eat, eat with focus. When you walk, walk with awareness. When you work, work with intention. The man who can stay here, fully here, is already rich. He's not fragmented. He's not scattered. He's whole. And wholeness is the highest wealth. The 11th technique is alignment over ambition. Most people hustle out of fear. They move fast, but they don't move right. You train yourself to pause, align, then act. Energy alchemy means you don't just do things. You do the right things at the right time with the right state. This conserves the power. This eliminates waste. This builds with precision. You become more effective with less effort. You don't grind, you glide, because you're aligned. The 12th technique is self-dialogue correction. The most dangerous voice is not from others. It's the one in your own head. You speak to yourself more than anyone else, so that voice better be a warrior, not a beggar. When your inner voice complains, correct it. When it doubts, refocus it. When it panics, ground it. You are the commander. That voice must report to you, not rule you. Every time you correct it, you reclaim energy. You reclaim identity. The 13th technique is non-reactivity training. Wealth isn't always about doing more. Sometimes it's about doing less, reacting less. You don't respond to every comment. You don't chase every trigger. You don't waste time proving yourself. You breathe, you observe, you choose. This is what real power looks like. A calm mind, a still hand, a deliberate step. The man who doesn't react is the man who cannot be manipulated. And that man is rare. That man is respected. That man attracts wealth without effort. The 14th technique is urgency discipline. You don't live like you have forever. You train your mind to feel the weight of time, not with fear, but with focus. Every day you waste is a day that could have been gold. Every moment you procrastinate is energy you're leaking. You move with urgency. You act with decisiveness. You live like your mission matters, because it does. This type of energy shifts reality faster than strategy ever could. The 15th technique is mirror conditioning. Every night, you stand in front of the mirror, not to critique your appearance, but to confront your essence. You ask yourself, did I act like the man I'm becoming? No filters, no lies, just raw reflection. If the answer is no, you recalibrate. If the answer is yes, you amplify. This nightly practice forges identity, it trains accountability, and it breeds the type of internal power that money can't buy. These techniques are not abstract. They are tangible, grounded, applicable. They are how you train your energy to stop being reactive and start becoming royal. Lack is not something you escape. It's something you outgrow. You do not rise by fighting your old life. You rise by building a new one, brick by brick, breath by breath, choice by choice. You are not here to wait. You are not here to beg. You are not here to prove. You are here to remember who you are and command your energy to follow. You are here to stand tall in silence and act with precision. You are here to build wealth, not just financially, but energetically, spiritually, mentally. The millionaire mindset doesn't come from what you gain. It comes from what you stop giving power to. You stop leaking energy. You stop feeding fear. You stop responding to weakness. And you start moving like the man who already knows what he's worth. Because once you know who you are, lack becomes impossible. And the world begins to respond to your frequency, not your effort. So train your energy, guard your state, move with certainty, and live like the outcome is already done. Because in your highest form, it already is. If Epictetus could rise from chains to legacy, what's stopping you? Thanks for watching. Your next breakthrough might be in the video popping up now. Click it, apply it, and keep building your empire from within. Like and subscribe for more powerful videos to elevate your mindset and your mission.